Hello, thank you for joining me. My name is Donna Page, and this video is on the Saturn-Pluto conjunction. We have a Saturn-Pluto conjunction January 12, 2020, and it is a cycle. You think of these in cycles. The last one was in the early 80s in Libra. This one that's happening is Capricorn. The time before that was the late 40s in Leo, and the time before that was the early 19s, 13, 14, in Cancer. So we've gone from Cancer, Saturn-Pluto conjunction, to Leo, Saturn-Pluto conjunction, then to Libra, Saturn-Pluto conjunction, early 80s, and now in 2020, we have the Saturn-Pluto conjunction in Capricorn. Much has been written and spoken about this conjunction, and some of it is fear-based, as if the world's going to fall apart or our economic system will collapse. It is a larger picture of that, and also there's very well-written astrological works, specifically by Richard Tarnas, that has related these conjunctions to war, whether it's world wars, cold wars, political wars, and there is something to be said about that because it is global. However, the way that I look at it and how you can put it into your life is that it is to look at it from the bird's eye perspective. The Saturn-Pluto conjunction that happened in the early 1900s, in Cancer. By the end of that cycle, there was a huge shift in families. Mainly because in the United States, what happened was not only World War I happened, then we had the Roaring '20s, and then we had the Great Depression. And in the United States, there was the Dust Bowl, and many families had to leave their land. In Europe, too, in the 30s, many people had to leave their land, and families were broken up. And the core concept of families was change, Saturn-Pluto. Something significant changes. In the Saturn-Pluto in Leo, there's been a lot of talk about the Leo generation as the me generation. It is, if you look in terms of history and that time of seeking fun, seeking self-expression, seeking a life that's authentically oneself, seeking to be able to follow one's heart, Leo, that came out of and being able to have time to play, Leo, to have time for fun, Leo, dance, music. Now, how many people now have their day job and a significant hobby, whether it's music, theater, whatever it can be, sports, and having time for that larger context. Saturn-Pluto conjunction in Libra. And it begins when Pluto goes into the sign. It begins churning things. Saturn-Pluto conjunction in Libra. Libra relationships. How different do we look upon relationships now than we did when Pluto went into Libra in the early 70s in terms of acceptability of divorce, acceptability of gender differences, relationship differences. It made a huge shift in that. Now, let's go to what's going on now. Saturn-Pluto conjunction in Capricorn. Now, Pluto did go into Capricorn in 2008. And if you recall, 2008 was a time where the Great Recession started. And a lot of the too big to fail corporations started to fail. Capricorn is about corporations, it's about government. By the time the next Saturn-Pluto conjunction happens, we will be able to look back and see that there is a huge, huge shift and change in how governments work, and specifically for us personally, how you can, how is it going to impact me, is how corporations work. There's a shift coming that corporations that stay in the old way of doing things, of trying to motivate their employees by fear, motivate their employees by that sense of bullying, it will no longer work. And that there is now, if Saturn-Pluto conjunction is personal in your chart, you will feel this. You will feel it strongly. That the work that I'm doing, will it survive? And the other way that you see it happening all over is it's a huge shift in terms of companies. And if they're not staying ahead of the game, they are disintegrating, because it is a new world that we are living in terms of commerce. In 2007, 2008, when Pluto just went into Capricorn, how many people were really comfortable banking online? Yeah, a few ahead of their time. But what is the difference in 2020? Huge. 12 years later, huge difference. Buying online and all that stuff. So that sense of breaking up the old standard way of doing things and shifting into a new way, there will be a demand. Like, I don't want to work for a company that exploits practically slave labor of kids from the other side of the planet. There's a shift coming. And that is how I interpret this Saturn-Pluto conjunction. So if it's connected to your chart, yes, it is very significant, because it demands something within you to look at. How do you want to change? Is there anything old in your life that structure of the way you used to do things will not be able to continue for the next 40 years? So in a nutshell, small one, that is the Saturn-Pluto conjunction. Thank you for listening. My name is Donna Page, and my website is Loving Light Astrologer. Thank you.